Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. I'm so excited that you are joining us here today. I know that several of you will be joining us live, and most of you are going to be watching the replay. So whenever you are tuning in and wherever you're tuning in, I welcome you. So thank you for being here. And my intention is to give you guys a really good framework and foundation and kind of next step for what you can do to jumpstart your own journey to well-being in this masterclass today. So let's just dive right in, okay? My name is Alisha Leytem, and welcome to the 6 Gold Keys to Well-Being Masterclass. A little bit about me if we are just meeting for the first time. Like I said, my name is Alisha Leytem. This is a picture of me with my husband, Michael, and our daughter, Melrose. This picture is like a year old now, and she's growing. And this honestly just makes me want another baby. But so I have been in the wellness industry for the last decade, for a little over 10 years. And I started my company, Alisha Leytem Wellness, in 2018. I'm a certified wellness coach. I'm a well-being consultant, and I'm a mindfulness expert. And what I do is I create unique offerings to consult different companies and offer programs for people to really just enhance their health and wellness and well-being, both personally and professionally. Okay. And excuse me as I continue to let some people in here. Hello, you guys. Welcome. So I was just introducing myself. Okay. A little bit of my background. So I bring a lot of my my teachings in my work from a lot of things I've been studying for the last decade. So this goes from everything from yoga to Ayurveda to positive psychology to energy medicine to nature therapy, spirituality, mindfulness, meditation, nutrition, EFT, aromatherapy. And so as you can see, this is a wide variety of wellness tools and techniques that I've used for not only myself, but for hundreds of clients over the last decade that I have been able to take everything that I have been seeing and working with clients and with myself to create my own framework to well-being. What I have really seen as like, listen, if you're able to get this solid foundation of these 6 things feeling really good and stable for you in your life, you are creating a very beautiful foundation to grow even more into your well-being journey. This is like the baseline and the start of it, because it can feel really overwhelming of, where do I start? I hear that quite a bit, especially with really busy people, right? I have so much going on, and there's so many different places that I could start. Like, where do I really start? And sometimes that overwhelm can prevent us from even taking the leap of diving in at all. And so that's where I come in to help kind of cut through that overwhelm and that confusion, and that where do I start and how do I really like go in and create this impact and this change and shift within myself so I can finally feel the way that I want to feel in a very simple and approachable way. Okay. So like I said, I do lots of consulting for companies. I'm an executive coach. I'm a keynote speaker, and I also host wellness and corporate leadership retreats. And this is all with my framework. It's really fun. Okay, a little bit more about my wellness journey. So like I said, 10 years ago, I started my journey, and I started it because I was going through my own personal breakdown. Has anyone been there before? And what I have learned is that, or what I discovered in that moment of my own breakdown, being hundreds away from family and friends, and unable to find a job, and unable to really understand my place in the world and who I was and why I'm here, this led to a breakthrough, and this led to me being introduced to my teachers who I've worked with for many, many years, one of which is Gabby Bernstein. You may have heard of her before. She's an author of many books. That's me with her in the picture up there on the top right. And so after I started to learn these tools, it helped me so much. Like my whole life changed. All of a sudden, I became this like lighter, more peaceful, content, healthy, happy person. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to start sharing this. I felt like this duty to share it. And so I've been sharing these tools since 2018. And then this has just continued to evolve into me starting my business in 2018. And then in 2020, at the turn of, everything, I started to consult companies and really help them bring in some really much needed wellness strategies and programs and solutions, right? Because we're more stressed than ever before. So I'm about to get into that, but then I wrote my book on my well-being framework, and I launched that at the beginning of 2022. And so it was in that moment of my breakdown that I just mentioned over 10 years ago that I came across this quote, and this has been like the epitome of everything that I teach. In fact, it's like I think it's the first quote I have in my book. And so I love to start all of my trainings with this, because I think it's just so powerful of the power that you have within you. Okay. Yesterday I was clever and I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. This is a quote by the poet Rumi. You may have heard of him before. But it's just so important to really understand that if we want to change our own world, our own reality, then we begin by changing our inner reality. We begin by changing ourselves. And as you do that, your outer reality starts to shift and reflect how you're feeling on the inside, how you're showing up differently in your own life. People start to respond to you differently. Things start to become easier. You're better regulated in your body. And so you're better able to react and to respond in a more peaceful, calm, creative manner. And you're more present in your life. And this impacts everyone around you. And so your life literally changes by you changing yourself. However, we're all stressed right now, right? It is at an all-time high. It was pretty bad pre-pandemic. But the pandemic has only made things worse in terms of our burnout and our stress. We know that 77% of professionals have experienced burnout at their current profession. That's very high. And 84% of Americans report feeling stressed at least once in an average week. So if this is you guys, as you're joining in, let me know in the comments if you guys experience this yourself, or if you feel like you experience stress at least once in a typical week. Because you're really not alone in this, and stress is the biggest epidemic of our modern lives. There's just so much going on all of the time, so much information, which is great, and we're uber connected, like through the internet. However, the internet's amazing because we're connecting right now through, this training together, but it can come at a cost sometimes if we're unable to really balance it out and know how to actively reduce our stress and prevent this burnout, right? So before I'm going to dive into the 6 keys themselves, I want to share with you the incredible importance of something called your nervous system. So your nervous system, you may have heard of this before, but our nervous system is made up into 2 different bodies, okay? So one body is called the sympathetic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system is basically when we are stressed out, when we're in that fight or flight, okay? When you're stressed, what do you feel in your body? Your body, maybe you get a headache, your heart starts beating faster, okay? You can just feel that like anxiety moving through your body. Think about this as, you get an upsetting email, or you are trying to hit that deadline, whatever that is, get everything done. That's when you're in that fight or flight. Our bodies in that state want to either run or fight. And if we stay there, then we're gonna, fight through it. The other body in the nervous system is called the parasympathetic body. And so when we're activated in that, that's when we're in what's called rest and digest. This is when the body relaxes. You guys can almost feel me when I say that, right? Like you just like, it's like when you get into the bath, you're like, oh, wow. Or when you are able to just relax and unwind after a long day, or you know how to tap into your parasympathetic and get yourself into that rest and digest in between the fight or flight times. And so if you look over here on our graphic that we've created for you, it's not that you are never going to experience fight or flight. Like this is part of life. It's not about never having stress. But the issue is if we don't ever relax, then you are in what's called a dysregulated nervous system. Over here in the left, fight or flight, you just constantly go, 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 and then you're going to crash, right? That's the burnout. A healthy nervous system has the stress, knows how to regulate. Has the stress, knows how to regulate. Has the stress, know how to regulate. Does this make sense? So what I'm trying to say for you is the most important skill you can master is to learn how to relax and regulate your nervous system. And the more you do this, this is how you increase your resilience levels, okay? Okay, Nicole says, yes, my job gets overwhelming with the constant need to keep improving. Yes, that feeling like you always have to be doing more and getting better, right? Plus having a busy home life with kids and a first responder spouse. Wow, yes, having being a mom, a working mom is a lot. I can relate to that. But then also having a spouse who is always on call, that's quite a bit that you have on your plate for sure. Thank you for sharing that. So I want you guys to really think about how skilled are you at regulating your own nervous system? Do you know what tools that you can use? Do you have some tools? Do you know what this means? Do you know what this feels like? And it's okay. We're not here to judge ourselves. We're here to learn, right? You guys took time out of your precious day. You could be doing anything else, and you chose to show up here. So we're just going to think about that for ourselves. Here are the things that I have two mistakes of things that we do that prevent us from managing our stress and regulating our nervous system, okay? The first is not taking care of ourselves and showing up to work feeling like our needs are not met. So when our needs are not met, and this is on us to make sure that they're met, we can't rely on other people to meet them unless we ask for that, right? Then we're going to continue to show up in this recipe for resentment, okay? I know we have at least one other parent on here. For example, this is when, like, as a new mom, you are just so burnt out and touched out, and you just need a break, like a real break, but you aren't saying it and you aren't asking for it, aren't asking for help, maybe with your spouse or with a family member or with a sitter or someone to come and help, then you just start to feel that level of resentment, okay? But if you're able to regulate yourself enough, sorry, there's a fly in my office that keeps flying by me. So why is there a fly in November? I don't know. But if we aren't able to communicate that, then we're going to show up for resentment. And so it's important to recognize that taking care of yourself is very vital. And this goes into what I spoke about slightly in mistake number one, which is that thinking that you will be happy or less stressed if someone else changes their behavior. This is a tough one, but it's true, okay? We really tend to think that if someone else did something differently, then we would feel happier. However, like I said in the Rumi quote, that if we know how to tap into that within ourselves and start leading ourselves first, then the external world isn't going to dictate our happiness for us, isn't going to dictate whether we're stressed or not, because that means we're giving up our power to everything else and everyone else around us when we actually have immense power to be able to do that within ourselves. So this is why I really challenge you to think about how you have the ability to give yourself your own well-being promotion. Okay. I just think this is so important because we're waiting around, we're hoping that someone will choose us, we're hoping that things will be different on the outside, right? But when you, like I said, the most important skill you have is to relax and regulate your nervous system. When you do this, you are accessing the state of calm. And being calm is your biggest secret weapon in the entire world. Because when you're calm, you can respond. When you're calm, you inspire. When you're calm, you're able to get things done without trying as hard. When you're calm, you're less stressed. Okay? When you're calm, you're regulated. And the only person who can give you this gift of true peace and calmness, right, within is you. And sometimes, we hear that can feel like overwhelming. But I encourage you to shift the switch of that and see this as like the greatest empowering thing. Like, oh, I actually have that power to do that. And you do. So as I mentioned, regulating the nervous system is improving your resilience. So we have so much going on in our lives, right? We have so much going on in our lives that sometimes we tend to see prioritizing our own well-being as a reward to getting everything else done. Oh, I finally, did all the things. I got everything done at work, and then I made dinner, did the whole thing at house. I did everything, and now my reward is my well-being, right? Taking care of myself. But I'm here to share with you that this has to be the other way, right? When you prioritize it, this is the requirement, because as you do that, that's going to help you to be able to improve your resilience and show up and regulate yourself in such a better way. So the 6 keys to well-being in my framework here are going to regulate your nervous system on every key, and each key helps you to build your resilience even more, right? Because it's not that life will suddenly get easier. We just get more calm and better at riding through it because we're so regulated that it's not going to take us out. Okay. So I'd love to know in the comments what's coming up for you guys so far on the nervous system. Is this the first time that you're hearing it? And if you're able to really think about the power of well-being as a requirement and not a reward. So as I said, I created this framework and I wrote it in my book. We also have a corresponding assessment. The assessment is free. You can take it on my website, AlishaLeytem.com, and it will show you your overall well-being score. And then it will also give you your most strong key out of the 6, and then which of the keys that have the biggest growth and room for improvement for you. So here are the 6 keys, and we're going to dive into a lot of good stuff for you, and all of them, I promise. So the first key is the key of sleep. Okay. This is a practice of relaxing the nervous system and naturally suspending consciousness to promote restoration. Nutrition, consuming nourishment. And I talk about nutrition in a deeper way than maybe what you have heard or thought of before. Movement, activating the physical body so that your mental and spiritual bodies are involved as well. The key of nature, immersing yourself in nature through all of your senses. So powerful. It's probably my favorite key right now. I'm obsessed with it. Mindfulness, the practice of increasing your awareness on the present moment, on your emotions, how you're feeling, what you're doing, who you are right here. And then the key of intention. And this is the act of thinking and being and acting with purpose, right? It's like, it's understanding your why behind every single thing that you do, which can help you immensely in your emotions and your outlook on life. You just feel so good when you can activate and unlock the key of intention. So let's dive into all 6 of these a little bit more. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments, more comments, because this is the benefit of being here live with me now. And if you guys, if you're watching the replay, that's okay too. Okay, the first key, the key of sleep. So when we prioritize our sleep, this is a radical act of self-care. This is the first key for a reason. I think that sleep is one that for some reason we just don't give it the most utmost importance and top priority that it deserves. Because if we are tired, if we are exhausted, if we're not getting proper nourished sleep at night, what happens the next day? When you're tired, the first thing that goes is usually your emotions. You're quicker to snap. You feel a little more down, much easier. You're much more likely to have to reach for more caffeine. And the more caffeine you drink, it actually it oversteps your boundaries because it pushes you to do more than you're able to do in that moment. You might reach for more sugar or more food than you likely would have if you were well rested. When you are well rested, you are more creative. You're able to show up as your best self. You're able to move and go throughout your day feeling as energized and as calm as you need to. You've shut down the previous day, you've released the previous day, you haven't brought it with you, and you're refreshed and ready for the day ahead. And so great sleep is actually about preparing for great sleep. I think a lot of times we think that it should just happen, right? We just shut the lights off and go down and that's it. But there's actually some preparation that needs to be done there. And the first is making it a priority. And the second is allowing yourself to unwind and actively unwind, not unwinding, just thinking that it's happening, but actively doing it. So one way you can do this is practicing the 3-2-1 sleep method. So this is going 3 hours before bed, you don't eat or drink. And the reason not eating 3 hours before bed is because it takes a lot of energy for your body to digest your food. And so if you eat right before you go to bed, then your body is still working on digesting, which is taking energy, and it's harder for you to fall asleep and it disrupts your sleep. Same thing with alcohol. 2 hours before bed, no work. And if you can, 1 hour before bed, no screens. Okay. The other thing, give yourself a bedtime and stick to it. If possible, try to aim for 10 p.m. as like your, okay, that's it, last call. Because when you sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., that's actually the best time to sleep for regulating your nervous system, right? So now this might not happen every night. And as a mom to a toddler who sometimes likes to get up every few hours, sometimes you're in that phase of life and there's not much you can do about it. But what I can do is go to bed when she goes to bed, right? Instead of doing I write about this in my book, but the bedtime procrastination thing, right? Where you just stay up because that's the only time you have for yourself all day and you're just procrastinating going to sleep and scrolling because that's all you have for yourself. Instead, maybe switch that mindset and say, this is a time I have for myself and I'm going to use it by sleeping and restoring myself and truly resting. So that takes some practice, but super important for sleep. Okay, the second key, the key of nutrition. So, okay, food is literally medicine, right? It's not like medicine. Food is medicine. And so when you're eating food that is healthy for you and is not processed, it's just real whole foods, this is going to give you more energy and more vitality, okay? It's also going to improve your mental health. And this is the big thing that research is finally acknowledging what Eastern medicine is known for like ever, is that your gut is considered your second brain. So a healthy gut, when your gut is healthy, your mental health is a lot healthier as well. And when I say mental health, I mean anxiety, depression, right? Anything that can relate to feeling that overwhelm. And so you can actually reduce the amount of stress that you feel and you think throughout the day by improving your gut health. So how do you improve your gut health? You want to make sure that you focus on removing some things, but mostly focus on adding in the good things. I'm not about deprivation at all. That's just not my thing. I don't think it's sustainable either. I'm really just, I want you to think about like adding in the good stuff, nourishing my gut with the good stuff. So what do I mean by the good stuff? I mean by eating seasonally. So if you eat foods that are in season, the nutrients that are in those foods that are in the current season you're in are really beneficial to your body because we're in tune with nature, we're in tune with the season, so that it knows exactly what to do with that. It can digest it really easily. Simple, right? The other thing is to eat fermented foods. So fermented foods are foods that have good sources of probiotics, and probiotics are what's going to really keep your gut super healthy. Okay. So you can take an actual like probiotic supplement. You can talk to your doctor or talk to someone at your local health food store to see a good quality probiotic. But an easier and better way, if possible, is to just eat more foods that have probiotics in them. So foods like sauerkraut, as long as it's like living. So if you buy the sauerkraut in the refrigerated section, that's the good sauerkraut. Kefir, which is just a kind of yogurt that has good gut bacteria in it. Kimchi, things like that. Okay. And like I said, with not restricting yourself at all, I really love the 80-20 rule. So if you just focus on 80% of what you're eating as nourishing, healthy, whole, real foods, then you can really just let go of the other 20%. Like it's not about all or nothing. It's not about 100% this or perfection by any means. It's about living our life and enjoying, and just what do you eat most of the time? And as long as what you eat most of the time is nourishing you, you'll be good to go. And you'll notice that that helps with your energy levels and your mental health, which is going to help you feel happier. Love kombucha. Yes, that's another great fermented product. It's a drink, right? But yeah, absolutely. My husband drinks kombucha all the time. Okay. The third key is movement. So what's really interesting is you guys may have heard, I think it was like 10-ish years ago, a study came out that they found that too much sitting is considered the new smoking. And the reason for this is because we are spending the majority of our days in front of computers and working, because like I said at the beginning of this training, it's amazing that we have the internet, right? And that we can like work from home, we can do these things, but we have to make sure that we are still moving in between those like work sprints. Because if we don't, then this is going to negatively affect our mood. If we're not moving, if we're not getting that energy flow throughout the body, then that can cause a lot of other issues, okay? The other thing is when you move your body, you are shifting things. So you're shifting the nervous system, you're regulating the nervous system and shifting your emotions because you're shifting your physiology. So this is basically just saying your mind and your body are connected. And so if you move your body, it's going to shift things in your mind and shift things in your mood. Another cool stat that they're talking about more and more is that they found that working out or moving your body for 30 minutes a day is just as effective as an anxiety medication. So good stuff. So what you can do to move regularly. to kind of combat the effects of sitting too much. If you just move for like you're just walking for an hour, this could be 30 minutes and 30 minutes, just some kind of movement, right? And I like to teach this by just giving you this mantra. Every day I move my body in some way. Every day I move my body in some way. Every day I move my body in some way. And it doesn't have to be like, an official workout necessarily. It could be going on a walking meeting. Have you guys heard of these before? Where it's like, hey, we have this meeting, whether it's a phone call or you're, in the office, let's take it together while we're walking. That's a really, really great way to do it. Blocking off 5 minutes in between calls and, doing some lunges in your office or doing some sun salutations of yoga, just to kind of like move the energy, right? Another thing I like to do is do family walks together at the end of the day. So this is a way for us to go outside. It's a way for us to walk and for us to still spend time together. So I'm not feeling like I have to choose one or the other, and still just like sneak in those little habits, but just stack some other really healthy ones on there to help us all together, right? So moving your body is a really powerful key. Okay, the fourth key. The key of nature. So we are finding that the average American spends 93% of their lives inside. 93% of your whole life we spend inside. And they said within that 93%, 87% of it is spent in buildings. So in homes, buildings. And the other 6% are spent in cars. So what this author, his name is Richard Louv, he wrote a book called The Last Child of the Woods. He coined this term called nature deficit disorder. And basically what that says is we are spending so much time indoors, 93%, that it's negatively affecting our happiness and our inner peace. And it's causing anxiety and depression and overwhelm and so many things just by being too connected and not being connected to the natural world, the world that we're literally a part of that's outside. Right outside of our door, I'm looking at my tree in my yard as I say this to you. And it's really hitting hard on kids right now, like really bad. And this was the study was released in the year 2000. So, it's obviously gotten worse since then. But the good news is that the solution is to just spend more time outside. It's a very, very, very simple solution that has very, very, very big positive impacts for you. Because when you go outside, you're actually regulating the nervous system just being outside, just standing out there, touching a tree. So what I mean by this, if you struggle with anxiety, or like just high amounts of stress and overwhelm, if you literally just go outside and breathe as you're touching the grass or touching the tree, the earth and nature regulates your nervous system for you. It's so cool. I do it all the time. I'm trying to teach my daughter. I teach all my clients this, right? So allow nature to hold you and to teach you the power of presence and slowing down and using your senses. It's one thing to go outside and like still be on our phones and being preoccupied, and it's another to go outside and take in the environment, looking at the trees, looking at the water, looking at, the animals, listening to the birds, listening to the wind, listening to the leaves, just allowing it to bring you into your body and bring you into the moment. It's an incredibly powerful tool that I think is very underutilized and not talked about enough. And I think it's like the thing that is missing the most in the professional and corporate world, because it's just, we're so disconnected from it. And we're feeling so stressed and burnt out. And it's like one of the most simplest solutions is just reconnect with nature outside. So if you want to dive deeper into this with any of the keys, dive into my book. And then I'm actually going to be announcing something here at the end if you want to dive even deeper into it with me. But what you can do is spend a minimum of 2 weeks outside each week, or 2 weeks, 2 hours outside each week to improve all of the things that I just said. So this breaks down to about 17 minutes a day. If you don't have that kind of time, at the very, very, very least, do 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day outside. If possible, do it in the morning so that you can get some morning sunlight. Because when you get morning sunlight, within the first hour of you waking up, this helps to reset your circadian rhythm and helps you to sleep better at night. So if you want better sleep, you get out into outdoors in the first hour of your day. Yep. And like I said, habit stack, do your movement and do it all together, right? So you can, instead of like, walking a treadmill inside and then trying to get your nature time outside, what if you just did it together and you hit a couple birds with one stone, right? Okay. The fifth key is the key of mindfulness. So people ask me all the time, what is mindfulness? And mindfulness is truly just improving your ability to be present in the moment, to be aware of what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're experiencing in this very moment. And the reason this is important is because we have found in research that 47% of people spend almost all of their time thinking about something other than what they're doing. AKA, you're like living on autopilot. And autopilot is pretty much the opposite of mindfulness. And autopilot isn't a horrible thing. It can be helpful for us to not have to exert so much energy with like every single thing that we do, right? An autopilot thing is brushing your teeth, like that's really helpful. It becomes unhelpful when you go about your day in your life and you don't feel like you're there. Think of this as like you finished work and you drove home, and all of a sudden you pull into your driveway and how did I get home? I don't know. So that's an example of living on autopilot. The benefits of being more mindful and more present helps you to enjoy your life and be a present and full aware participant of your own life. It's being able to just take a deep breath and tune in with how you're feeling in the moment. And when you're able to be that in tune with yourself, when you're able to be that in tune with how you're feeling in the moment, or your emotions that you're experiencing, then you can ask yourself, what do you need in that moment? What are the needs that would support you? And once you have that answer, then you can either do that for yourself, you can ask for the support, and you can get your needs met. But a lot of times we kind of miss that step. There's that gap of, well, my needs aren't met, but I'm not even quite sure what those needs are. I don't even know what I would need right now. I don't even know what I could do right now that would help me to feel better. And so that's what mindfulness is doing for you. It's helping you to tune in more with yourself. Okay. So one other thing is gratitude. Okay. So when gratitude is a mindfulness practice. So gratitude is scientifically proven to help you improve your health, your self-esteem, and reduce aggression, reduce stress. There's a saying and a quote, it's something that you can either feel grateful or you can feel anxious. You can't feel two things, at those two emotions at the same time. And so if we practice being more grateful for the things that we do have in our life, for the things that are working in our life, and this is a genuine practice, like you have to almost rewire and retrain your brain to get really good at looking and identifying and being aware of the things you're grateful for. That's how you attract more peace of mind into your life. And then when you're in that space, when you're in the space of gratitude and you're in that space of less resistance, and life flows so much more. It doesn't feel as much of an uphill battle. It doesn't feel as much of this fight, right, that you have to go through. It's a great way to regulate your nervous system. So another thing you can do to turn your mindfulness into gold is to really practice doing one thing at a time instead of trying to do multiple things at once, because we actually can't multitask. We think we can, but our brains are unable to do it. So what I mean by this is, let's say we have 15 tabs open and we're doing multiple things at once. What you're really doing is you're just looking at one tab and then looking to the next one, and each time you move, you're shifting your mind, you're shifting your brain to have to reset and focus on what it is that you're doing, and you lose a lot of time and energy by kind of going back and forth, and then you feel like you didn't really get anywhere. And so what you can do is just be like, write down the thing that you're doing on a sticky note and put it on your computer, and focus on that one thing that you're doing. And that's a really beautiful way to practice mindfulness. Another thing you can do is when you're cooking your meals at night, that act of just cooking and chopping your veggies and being with your family and just being in the kitchen can be a really powerful mindfulness practice, because you're just practicing being present on the thing that you're doing. You're just practicing being in the kitchen and not listening to something else or try to watch something else, but rather just, I'm here in this thing. And so there was a study that came out, oh my gosh, just this week, it's everywhere. I still have to post it. But they found that meditation is just as powerful as the really popular anxiety drug. I think it starts with a Z. But yeah, just as powerful. It works just the same. And this is proven research that just came out. So meditation, daily meditation, is a mindfulness practice that can help you. Okay. Okay, the sixth key, the key of intention. So the sixth key basically asks you to identify why you're doing what you're doing. And you can be more intentional with every single thing that you're doing. Even like I asked you at the beginning of this training, of this webinar, there are a million other things that you could be doing, but you chose to come here and be here. Why? Right? That's your intention. So intentions are not goals. They're not, this is my goal to do it. This is, I'm intending this, right? And so what this does is this helps you to be more intentional with your life, with your day, with your emotions, and what it is that you want to focus on, because what you focus on will grow. And so if we focus on problems or things that aren't working, we're going to see more of that. Same thing with solutions, right? If we focus on solutions and focus on the opportunities and focus on the optimism, then we're going to see more of that. It's almost like, do you remember in school when, growing up, they taught you the game of, I want you to look around for something red in the room. And then they tell you to close your eyes and they say, okay, now think about the things that were yellow in the room. You're like, I don't know, I wasn't looking for that. But there were so many things that were yellow in the room that you would just focus on the red thing in the room. That's the intention key, okay? So this is the secret, is having your goals, knowing what your goals are, but then diving deeper into that and saying, well, what's my intention behind this goal? And this is going to help you to go about your life with this energy of awareness and ease and focus. And so other things that you can do to be more intentional. When you are stressed, put your hand on your heart and just ask yourself, what is the biggest source of my stress in this very moment? And then choose to look for what a solution might be. Okay. Vision boards are very powerful ways to help you put some images and pictures up on a board to put your attention on how it is that you want to feel, right? The why behind your vision in your life, or vision for your goals in your life, whatever it is that you're working towards and working on. So I really encourage clients to really think about, what's your intention each and every day? You can wake up and say, what's my intention today? My intention is to feel good. My intention is to be grateful. My intention is to, be present and supportive for my team or my husband or, wife or whatever, right? So that can help you to feel so much more fulfilled and feel that you kind of have like that power and control back with that place of ease and grace. Okay. So I'd love to know what you guys think of the 6 keys. Which one do you want to focus on? Which one do you feel would be the one for you right now? And if you're unsure of which one that is, because here's the thing, I never recommend that you start working on all 6 at once. I highly encourage you to start with one key, and work with it for a few weeks, 21 days. And then once you feel that you have made some progress in that, then you can move on to the next one, right? Because if you want to change your life, you just want to change something that you do differently in your day, because your days are what makes up your life, right? So your job, and what you can do if you feel like you're just not quite sure which of those 6 are the ones for you to start on, you can go and take the free assessment that I have on my website that I mentioned at the beginning of this call, and this will give you some insight to which one that would be great for you. You can also just choose the one that sounds the most exciting. You really can't mess up the one that you start with if you just decide that that's the one you're going to work with. So allowing this to be easy and clear, right? Here are my 6 areas, and I'm just going to work on this one, and just give yourself permission to really just focus on that one as you work into the next one. That's how you're going to change your life. You're so welcome, Clayton. Okay, so like I said, I have my book. Oh, Christine's gonna do mindfulness. Love it. A lot of people really start on mindfulness. That's a big one. So stick around. I have some good stuff for you guys here as we wrap up. If you enjoyed this masterclass, like I said, I have the book. It's available on Amazon. Christine has my book. Amazing. Thank you. If you guys had it and you read it, I'd love for you to leave a review. That'd be so helpful. Make sure you access your master resource guide if you haven't, because there's guided meditations in there for you and all sorts of good stuff that you don't want to miss out on that. So I have the assessments, more free things, the book bonuses that I just mentioned. I also have a podcast. If you haven't tuned in to that, great stuff. We release one every Friday. There's a new one that came out today, actually, with a guest on how our EMF exposure could be impacting our sleep, which is super interesting and really cool. You guys should go check it out. Okay, so this is a really exciting thing that I'm like really, really pumped to announce for you guys. So I am opening up a new program. And this is called a Resilient Reset. Okay, so what this is, it's a blend of coaching, my course on the 6 Gold Keys to Wellbeing, and community. And my intention is to help you learn these things over the course of 12 months, okay? Help you learn to master the skill of regulating your nervous system, help you to improve your mindfulness skills, which I'm going to share with you how in a second, help you to become the person who meditates regularly. You will reduce the overwhelm of your wellness and know exactly how to make the changes that fit your own unique life, because this isn't cookie cutter, right? This is picking and choosing what fits and what you need the most in your life right now. You'll improve your sleep, your diet, your relationship with nature, your relationship with yourself. And you will have a toolbox of so many beautiful techniques that will serve you for the rest of your life to really give yourself that well-being promotion that I'm talking about, right? So here's what it really includes and involves. I am recording my my course on the 6 keys. So each key is its own module. And as of now, up until this point, I've only been hosting these for corporate clients. Okay. And so I'm really excited to be able to offer this to just individual people who want to dive deeper into this, and if their company isn't offering this for them, right? So I'm going to be starting to record these starting the end of November. So whoever joins now is going to be able to access these live with me, and then you have access to watch the recordings of them for the entire time you're in the program. And so you don't have to watch all of them. You could just dive into, you know, the mindfulness one, if that's the one you really want to work on. And then when you're ready to go to the next, you'll be able to access it then. So you have access to all of the modules and tons of resources within each module. Then twice a month, I will meet together on Zoom, and we'll start each session with a mindfulness and guided meditation training. So we're going to be practicing your mindfulness skills, your meditation skills. And then after that, we'll be opening it up for the rest of the call for hot seat coaching. We will also have some guest speakers come in, or I'll talk about some topic to help you through that month that we're all working on together. This is also the community component to it. So this is really powerful. I'm excited for this too. It's one thing to go through, you know, a course on your own, and it's another to do it in a community with other people who are going through it with you. And so there's a platform that you'll have access to that you can connect with others, and you can ask me questions at any time. This is pretty big, because I'm going to be answering your questions for the whole time you're in this program. And this is not in a Facebook group, which I'm thrilled about, because so over Facebook groups, right? This is on my website. It's its own platform. It's separate. It's clean. It's all right there for us. So what this is includes the whole year access to all of the meditation recordings. So if you can't make our twice monthly Zoom call for whatever reason, then you get access to the recordings and all the meditation that we'll be pulling out from there, including any bonus workshops and trainings that I decide to do throughout the year that you'll have access to. I'm also going to be partnering with my husband. He is a leadership consultant and coach of his company called Catching Leadership. And so he'll be doing some leadership training every quarter or more if you guys want that, and help you on that side of it in your professional realm, because when you role model wellness, you're role modeling leadership. And so I really love partnering with him. We do a lot of work together in corporate, and I thought it'd be really fun to bring him in with this program as well. Okay. So some of the bonuses that I'm offering. The first is, in addition to the training modules, you're going to get access to my 6 Gold Keys to Wellbeing workbook. So this will be a PDF, but you can print it off, put it in a cute little, you know, one of these, and be able to dive in. I have, like, again, this has only been available to corporate so far. So I'm excited for you guys to be able to access that. And I already have a couple of trainings that I'm going to add in as bonus. One is a workshop on how to find your core values. That's a really good one, because that's really important for you to live in alignment with your truth, is understanding what's actually really important to you. And so you have to know what your values are, right? And the third bonus is my training on improving communication with the 4 agreements as its guideline. So this is a really unique and powerful training to help you improve your communication in your life, at work, at home, using the book. You might have heard the framework called the 4 Agreements. That's really cool. So, and this is the last bonus. If you decide to do the painful, we would get started with doing a 90-minute session together. So we'll get on a Zoom. We'll do 90-minute unlock your blocks, and we'll really just dive into everything you specifically, what your well-being strategy is for you. And you'll get a report from me afterwards. It's great. And then you'll also get a signed copy of my book and my affirmation card deck. Did you guys know I have an affirmation card deck now? So if you read the book, at the end of each chapter, I have affirmations. And these affirmations are helping you to change the way you think about that key, which then when you change your mind about something, your actions follow. And so what we've done is we've taken all of the affirmations into cards. They're so good. So what you do is each day, this is a really cool intention technique you can do, is pull a card for the day and say, what's my higher self sharing with me? What do I need to focus on today? So I just pulled one. It says, my breath is my anchor. And so whenever I pull a card every day, I just put it at the base of my computer like I just did, and my breath is my anchor, right? Awesome reminder. So you'll get a copy of the affirmation card deck if you decide to do the painful as well too. Okay, so let me wrap this up here. So here is the pricing option, and I'm really excited about the pricing of it because it's a really good price for the whole year. So this is available for the first 10 people who join. So the painful is $9.99. So like I said, this is access to everything that I said for a year, 2 calls a month, the whole course, and then you get a bonus one-off session with me that we can book in the next week or so, honestly, the next couple of weeks. Super great. If you don't want to do the painful, I have payment plan options. One is 3 monthly payments of $333. That includes the 1-year access, or you can do the monthly payment plan of $84 a month. So yeah, pretty amazing for the value that you can get. Like, just imagine yourself a year from now. And the reason I want it and need it to be a year is because we get so excited when we want to start a new journey, right? I want to really finally dive into my well-being journey. I really want to like prioritize that for myself. And you dive in, and then life happens and you get busy and you're not able to put as much time and energy into it right away. And so you feel like you kind of missed out a little bit. But that's why, like, giving yourself the grace of time and that support in that time to help you through those ups and downs is what really helps you and holds your hand through navigating, right? And really essentially regulating through all of the things. And of course, I think it's really symbolic too of being able to connect through a full year of like all 4 seasons to really help us really reestablish our relationship with nature, which helps us to reestablish our relationship with ourselves. So first 10 people, that's what we're doing. Super exciting. So if you join us in the next 2 days, 48 hours, you'll be considered one of the founding members. So you'll be locked in at this price before it goes up of R&R. And because we're just starting this, we're just kicking it off, you guys would have the opportunity to join the live recording of me teaching the modules. So once I have the live recordings of them done, then they'll just live in the program and in the container. But if you are a founding member, then you're able to join us live and ask questions along the way, which is very, very cool. So we're going to be starting the first recording of that towards the end of November. And then those monthly Zoom calls, the dates and times will change each month to kind of mix it up for people depending on where you're located and your personal schedule. So, but you get access to the bonuses right away. The community is open. And then if you do the pay in full, we'll be booking your unlock your block session too. The other thing to consider, this is the last thing I have for you, and then I'll open it up for questions, is this is a leadership and development program. So if you have a budget at your company, it's possible that your company can fund this for you. We've had people do it with many of my programs. So this could potentially be an option for you too, if you want to look into that. Just something to think about. Thought I'd throw that in there, okay? So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your precious day to be here. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope at the very least you're able to take something new for yourself that you can implement into your own life and regulate your nervous system, improve your resilience, and give yourself your own promotion to well-being. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to check out the content in the course and sign up, you can go to my website, AlishaLeytem.com. Let me put it here in the comments. And at the very top, there is a tab that says Resilient Reset, and you can check that out. If you want to talk about it with me, absolutely can. Just email me at alisha@alishaleytem.com as well. And then we'll be sending out a replay email of this with the links to everything for you to check that out too. Okay. So again, any questions, please let me know. I'll hang out here for a minute. But I hope you guys have a really amazing day, and happy 11/11 was the reason I did it on November 11th. Thanks, Nicole. Thank you. Thanks, Clayton. Thanks, Christine. Thank you all.